Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again. This time we're going to review for the Specialized High Schools Admissions Test. This is our show number 1, and this is dedicated to JoJo. If you need help with your homework, there's Dial a Teacher Homework Helpline at 212-777-3380. They're open Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Give them a call. They're very helpful people. Watch our show Math Time on Tuesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision Channel 15, only in Peekskill. Don't forget to watch our YouTube study videos. My channel name is Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Help us reach that 1 million subscriber. We now have on video PKMS Math Prep 22. Check it out. Good movie. You can also tweet me at drobmath1. All right, let's get started. So here we got Miss Spence opened a high yield money market account with a deposit of $5,000. This account earns 4% interest, simple interest. That's good to know. Annually. Annually means once a year. How many years will it take for her, $5,000, to earn $2,400 in interest? So let's figure that out. Well, when we're talking about simple interest, we're dealing with a formula that you might have heard of called the simple interest formula. I equals PRT. Interest equals the principal times the rate times the amount of time you leave your money in the bank. So let's take a look at how we would approach this, because we're going to underline a few things, like a deposit. That means she put in $5,000. This account earns 4% simple interest, and that's annually. Annually, again, means one time a year. So we're interested in how many years will it take for her $5,000 deposit to earn $2,400 interest. So we want the interest to be $2,400. So let's write that over here. So we're going to be multiplying the principal, which was $5,000 she put in, and we're going to then multiply that by the interest rate, the 4%, and then we're going to multiply that by the amount of time, which is 1 year. So the time interval, please remember about this, it must be 1 whole year we're talking about. I know they compound by the day now or some type of fraction of a year, but we're talking simple interest. That's just one time per year. So we're going to multiply all of this out just to see how much interest you'll get in 1 year. So this will be our 1 year's worth of interest. So let me get my calculator. Move this over a little bit and type in my $5,000 or her $5,000, multiply that by the 4%, and multiply that by 1 year. And this will be how much she gets in 1 year. $200 in 1 year. All right. So Let's put this down as $200 in 1 year per year. Now, we want to know how long is it going to take her, or how many years is it going to take her to get to $2,400? So how many years? Question mark, years. And we're going to multiply whatever the amount of years by 200 because she gets $200 per year in 1 year. So I'm going to work backwards. Instead of trying to multiply all that out to figure out 200 times how many years is 2,400, I can do the opposite of multiplying by 200, which is divide by 200. So I'll divide this by 200, and the zeros can cancel out, that 0 and that 0. So I really have 24 divided by 2, which is giving me 12 years. So it's going to take her 12 years to get 2,400. So 12 years. That's what the question mark we were trying to find out. So 12 years. Dr. Rob, I'm not sure if that's correct. Can we check that? Sure. Let's go back to the calculator. And I'm looking here at the $5,000 times 4% times 1 year. Well, if I take that same $5,000 deposit, close that, sorry, and multiply that by the 4% interest, and multiply that this time by not 1 year, but by 12 years. And that'll give me $2,400. What a coincidence. So it will take her 12 years to get that $2,400 she's interested in. So that's a good question to know. So if you have time, take a look at my simple interest video, and it explains that and does some other questions similar to this one. All right, so let's keep moving. Okay, we got exponents here, and a lot of them. 6 to the 8th power times 6 to the 3rd power, and then this fraction bar means divide by 6 to the 4th power. Well, I'm going to do it by one of the simplest ways I know how, and that's using the expansion method. So I'm going to take first 6 to the 8th power, which means write 6 times itself 8 times. So I'm going to write 8 sixes there. That's 5. I need 3 more. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm multiplying it because the sign says multiply right here by 6 to the 3rd power. So that means I'm going to multiply that, there's my multiplication decimal, by 3 more sixes. 2, 3. Now on the bottom it says divide. So this is our division bar. Fraction bar is a division bar by 6. 4 times I'm going to write the 6. Now, here's where the nice part comes in. I get to cancel out the ones from the top and bottom because they really cancel down to 1. 6 divided by 6 is 1 every time. So that's 4 times I get ones on the bottom. So on the bottom, I have just 1 because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And on the top, I notice I have this left on the top. And you can get your calculator to multiply it out, but they might be asking you to leave it as a exponential form. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 sixes over 1, which is just 6 to the 7th power. And again, you can get your calculator and multiply that out, but I'm sure they'll probably ask you to leave it in that form. So laws of exponents. It's good to know. So there are 3 laws you should get to know how to get that, and I'll just go over it real quick. The 6 to the 8th, the numerator, 6 to the 8th is being multiplied by 6 to the 3rd. Well, what we would do is we would take our exponents and add them up. When we're multiplying with the same base, we're going to add the exponents. That'll give us 11 on the top of the 6. So we have 6 to the 11 on the top of the numerator, and on the bottom, we have a 6 to the 4th power. And what we're going to do is we're going to take those exponents, 11 and 4, and we're going to subtract them. 11 minus 4, guess what that equals to? You got it, 7. So 6 to the 7. So those are a couple of the laws of the exponents that you might want to get to know in dealing with this. So check out my video on laws of the exponents. It'll really help you out. All right. I hope you get what's going on. Check your understanding. If you're not sure, rewatch the video, write down questions, send me a note or something, a message, and I'll be glad to answer you back. In the figure below, if lines M and N are parallel, all of the following statements are true except, so one of them is going to be false. So I've talked about parallel lines in my other videos, so if you haven't had a chance to check it out, parallel lines. So I'm going to use a little method here of identifying each angle to help me determine if these choices are true, because we got a lot of stuff going on over there in the choices. So I'm going to figure out how much is each angle. Well, I notice I got a 50 here. So I'm going to look straight across from him at his mirror image angle Q, which is a vertical angle, and vertical angles are congruent and equal in value. So it's like looking in a mirror across from you. So that's 50 degrees, and angle Q is 50 degrees. So I got angle S. That looks like the same, it's on top of the line, whereas this one down here is on top of the line, but it's in the middle there. So that would be a corresponding angle. Corresponding means it corresponds in the same position and place as the one above it. So if I slid this line on top of it, it would go right on top of that 50. So I'm going to say this is 50 degrees. And if you look at my video, it'll talk about angles that are alternate interior, and that means this one also equals that one. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate means on the opposite side of the transversal. So that's 50 and that's 50. Then I'm going to look again across the street at the vertical angle. So S is 50 and so is U, also 50 degrees. So I got 4 of the 8 angles already done. Now all I need to do is find out, well, how much are the other angles? Well, here's a nice little trick that I want you to know. You have a straight line or a straight angle equals 180 degrees. Or you could just say it's a semicircle or half of a circle. So if this angle is 50 degrees and this part of the line segment or straight angle is what we have to find. So I have 50 degrees plus angle P equals 180 degrees. So 50 plus what number equals 180? All I have to do is subtract 50 from both sides, and that'll give me my answer. Angle P equals 130 degree, and that little zero up there is our degree symbol. So angle P is 130 degrees. Now I can do what I did before by looking opposite. Angle R is vertical angle to angle P, so the opposites are equal, so that means angle R is 130. And I have that alternate interior angle, as I said before. The opposite of R is T, and that's equal to 132. Or I could draw my semicircle up here if I wanted to. Fifth angle S plus angle T equals 180 degrees, and that checks out. And remember, you got Angle T is opposite angle V. That equals 130 degrees. Now we got all 8 of our angles. So let's fill in stuff. Angle T is 130, and yes, it is 130. So that is true. So we're looking for which one is not true. Now it says angle Q plus U equals 100. Well, let's find angle Q. Angle Q is 50 degrees. So let's put that down. Angle U is way down here on the bottom, which is 50 degrees also. And 50 plus 50, yes, that equals 100. So that's also true. All right, so we got another one true. So this one is correct. Letter C. Angle V, where's V? Over here equals 130. So angle V plus 50 equals 180. So angle V, we found down here, is 130 plus 50, and I don't need my calculator. That's 180. So that's true also. So man, we had to go do all of that work just to find out that the last one is the answer. Well, it says angle S equals 150. Well, angle S is up here. That is equal to 50. It's corresponding to the angle up here. So or alternate interior to angle Q. So that's 50 also. But it says it's 150. Well, that's incorrect. It's equal to 50. So that was the one that was false. Letter choice D. Man, we had to do a lot of work to make that to find the correct answer. So please check out my video on parallel lines. It'll help you get through this mess, and we do some other examples of it. So check it out. It's not too long. All right. The ratio of pens to pencils in a drawer is 5 to 12. Let me stop at that period and go back. Ratio is a good word. It means fraction. So I'm going to draw a fraction bar. And it says pens. Here's my numerator to pencils. And there's my denominator. And now they give us some important numbers, 5 to 12. So I'm going to put down first the 5. That means there are 5 pens and 12 pencils. All right, let's keep reading. If there are 25 pens in the drawer, how many pencils are there? So they're looking for pencils. So let me keep going with my fraction because I want to make proportions. Proportions are equal fractions. If you haven't had a chance to view my videos on proportional relationship, check it out. Now, I have 25 pens. I'm going to put 25 right up here because it matches where the 5 pens are in that ratio. And how many pencils are we looking for is the question. So how many pencils are there in this drawer? Well, I'm going to show you a shortcut way because my proportional relationship video does deal with this way where you cross multiply and then divide by the other number. I'm just going to, I don't know what that sound is. So let me pause for a second. And, hmm. Hmm. Well, it stopped, so I'll continue. All right, so I'm going to show you a shortcut trick in order to deal with this. Instead of cross multiplying, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by a certain number in order to get to this number on the side here. So 5 times what equals 25? Well, it's got to be 25. I'm sorry, it's got to be 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. So remember, when you do something to the numerator, you got to do the exact same thing to the denominator, and that'll give us the answer. So we needed to multiply 5 times 12, and that'll give us 60. So there are 60 pencils in the drawer. All right, so let's hide that. So let's keep moving. Hopefully you're understanding what's going on, and I'm not going too fast for you. So sorry for the interruption, what that was. Now, on the number line below, segment AC is divided into equal parts. What is the coordinate of point B? So I see point B in the middle here. We have point A, -3/8, and point C, 15/16. So I remember the distance formula. You might want to try, because the distance from here to there would be taking the absolute value of these coordinates, 15/16, and subtracting them. Absolute value is parallel lines. So I would be subtracting these two. What do I get? Remember, you cannot subtract negative numbers. We are supposed to change that to addition, change that to its opposite. So that'll give us 15. Oh, wait a minute. I got an 8 there, so I got to change that. 3/8 to 16. So multiply by 2. And as I said, if you do something to the top, you got to multiply the bottom by the same thing. So that'll give me 6. 6/16 plus 15/16. And that is equal to 21/16. And that's 1, and I believe 5/16. Why don't I see it in the answer? Well, that's the way you do it. So I guess there's no answer for this one. So it's an incorrect problem. So because I can't simplify it, and even if I simplified it, I would get an improper fraction. So it's an incorrect problem. I don't know. Maybe I wrote it wrong, or they wrote it wrong. So I don't know if they have trick questions in here. So here's another way you can look at it, but I don't think this would be proper. If this is 0/8, this would be 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, and this would be 7.58. So I don't know. 4/8 reduces down to 1/2, and I think the best guess would be that for point B, but that's not the way you do it, because they give you names of those coordinates, so that's not correct. So I think it's an incorrect problem. If somebody out there can figure out the answer, definitely let me know. But the distance formula is what you should know in dealing with this type of problem. All right, so check out my distance formula video. If A is even, B is odd, which of the following statements must be true? All right, so we got A plus B is odd. Statement 1, A minus B is odd. B, which means A times B, is odd. So they got a lot of oddness here. So let's see. I'm going to give you a nice trick that you might want to try. Pick an odd and even number. So A could be an odd number. Make that, say, no, I'll make it an even number. A will be 10, B will be, say, 3. So I got a B will be my odd number, A will be my even number. So this, how do I know it's even? Is because you can divide it by 2 and not get a remainder. And you can look up a video about how, the formula 2 comes in handy when you're dealing with this. I'm going to replace A with 10, B with 3, and see if I get an odd number when I add. I get 13. 13 is an odd number, so that's true. If I added it backwards, 3 plus 10 that's still 13, so that's still true. It's an odd number. And you can use some other numbers. You don't have to use my numbers, but you'll find that it's true. Let me take those same numbers, A was 10, and subtract B, which was 3, and I get 7. And 7 is an odd number. And if you subtract 3 minus 7, you would get negative, 3 minus 10, you would get negative 7, and negative 7 is also an odd number, integer. And so that's still true. AB, that means A times B. Let's try this one now. All right, I got 10 is being multiplied by 3. 10 times 3 is 30. And wait a minute, 30 is an even number because I can divide it by 2. That'll give me 15. So you might want to fool around with some other even numbers like 2 like 2 or something. 2 is an even number. Multiply it by 3, we said was the odd number, and that equals 6. 6 is a odd number. Well, what's interesting about this 2, when you take 2 and multiply it by any number, it'll always give you an even. If you wanted to get an odd, you would take that even number and add just a 1 to it. That'll give you an odd. That's a little advanced. I've seen it somewhere in some upper grades, but this is a advanced school that you're trying to get into. So good luck. So the last one is not odd, it's even. So that's not true. So that's the one that's not true. So number 1 and number 2 are my answers. So 1 and 2 only is the one that I'm going to pick for my choice. It's choice A. All right, so am I done? Check your answers. If you need help with your homework, please call this number. They're nice people. Dial the teacher homework helpline, and that number is, sorry about that. That number is 212-7733-80, Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Watch Dr. Rob on YouTube, channel name Dan Robinson, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School. Subscribe to our channel, help us get 1 million subscribers. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing, and write me a comment. I do write back. Now on video, PKMS, Math Prep 22. Take a look at some of those other Math Prep, PKMS Math Prep. They're pretty good shows. I like 19, 16, 15. Check them out. They're good. Tweet me at DRobMath1. Watch our math show on Tuesdays, 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Optimum Cablevision, Channel 15, only in Peekskill. Here are some tips for the multiple choice part of the test. You might want to take a good look at them. I like number 3 and 4. If your answer is still not among the options, you make your best guess or come back to it later if you have time. If your answer is not among the options considered, write other ways for your answer, so that's important to know. But good luck. I'm sure you're going to do well and get into that school of your choice. If you want to study with me, write me at robinsonmath@aol.com. I'll send you some information to try to help you keep working on this stuff. And that's it, JoJo. So, review for the specialized high school admissions test. So, I hope you enjoyed it. So, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.